Hello. Today I wanted to talk about AI, mainly a couple of gripes I have with it, and also some of the great things that may come with it. We'll talk about ethics, specifically the ethics of artificial intelligence. And to clarify, this video is not meant to be educational, and I am by no means an expert in the field. This video is simply my take on it from what I understand and know. For starters, AI is pretty unsettling. Just imagine this technology that used to be some silly machine learning chatbots like PewDiePie chatbot and Cleverbot to becoming an incredibly useful tool that may as well be as equivalent to how useful the internet was when it was beginning to boom. And now we are starting to see large corporations, often worth billions if not trillions of dollars, pouring money into artificial intelligence. And with that, we've seen it grow faster and faster. What started out as basic image generation, I remember, was Dolly, and a few friends and I made some funny pictures with it. We joked about how bad it was at the time, and though it may be important to mention we weren't paying for the latest and greatest, we were using the free version, and that was years ago, and we were just making free images. But today you see entire videos being produced by AI, and it's becoming more and more difficult to distinguish a real video with a deepfake. I mean, there are a few indicators for the trained eye, but put an AI video in front of someone not paying full attention or to someone who is older and doesn't fully understand what AI is, I bet they'll have a hard time understanding that likely only a single person probably made that video clip or video using nothing but a computer. More and more, we are seeing students using AI. Many tech companies are even advertising computers that have AI capabilities for school and work. And while AI is certainly useful in regard to learning and improving one's workflow, it kind of starts eroding the entire point of learning and work. Maybe it's just me, but I've learned more from YouTube and ChatGPT in the past few years than I sometimes do in school or university. If I don't understand, say, a physics problem, I can always find a video explaining it on YouTube or some AI to explain it to a second grader. Compare that with asking that to someone whose job it is to teach that subject to a wider variety of people, someone who won't, in the future, have an entire database based on your thoughts and the way you think, and something that could tailor your question in almost any way you want. For someone, AI might be a detriment to their workflow if someone is used to using ChatGPT to solve all of their homework or write an elaborate essay. It doesn't teach anything, nor does it reinforce our knowledge of what I'll call the craft, but it does it for us. It's a tool. And in some sense, all we really need is creativity less than something such as a high-level education or the fundamentals of whatever system, whether that is writing composition or engineering, is made of. We've seen this throughout history. Humans create abstractions to make life appear easier and simpler. That and many more reasons are why AI are so great, but to me it seems like it's destroying the foundations we have created. At what point will it be more useful to use AI than take actual notes in class? When will a formal education be unnecessary altogether? It's something to think about, and I should probably note that calculators, spell checkers, Wikipedia, and many other tools have already done this to some extent. But AI would extend this issue like they had in the past. I'm also not saying AI is ruining education, but rather we should learn how to integrate AI into education. Instead of throwing practice problems at students, hypothetically, we could create a physical representation and machines that could teach a more intuitive approach to learning. And when I mean learning, that could mean math and literature, but also to ourselves and perhaps more personal questions, and that is more power than we often give it credit to. A machine that can understand your thoughts and help you with problems that may be more personal. We should be cautious about how to handle AI education responsibly because it can really be a great tool when it is used correctly. Though today a lot of AI we use is free. If there is an adage that I've learned over the years, it's that nothing in life is free. And if AI companies are going out and investing in AI and spending billions upon billions on buying AI chips, well, that costs money. And who is going to pay for that? Who is going to pay that to give the public a free service? While there are paid subscriptions in many cases, how long will they last? How long will it take for AI companies to make their service a paid one? What will students struggling in university do? And what will we think when AI, a system that tailors responses based on someone's responses, introduces ads into the chats? Ads that understand more or less anything about us to some extent. What will we do when we no longer have access to AI, such as if the power goes out or there is an outage at some AI place? What will the workers who rely on AI do? What will the people, students using the AI do? It may not be relevant now, but it may be relevant in the future. And as for people who work in creative spaces, whether that is film, music, or art, I think they'll always have their place, but it may not end up as a real career. Why spend money on a large set when it would be easier to just generate the set in AI? No need to pay actors, or even those actors, to voice themselves. All one really needs is the rights to their face and voice. You can make $1 million budget movie with maybe only $10,000 once AI reaches a certain point, maybe less. And while saving money is great, from a business perspective, a lot of the enjoyment or the craft of making something like a movie is often lost bit by bit as it can more easily become automated. And you could see how many people could say that AI will take jobs, and they certainly will for a time. More menial jobs will be replaced by AI robots, as did large machines, engines, and conveyor belts did in the past industrial revolutions. Those with smaller roles will slowly disappear, with some perhaps getting promotions to perhaps supervise such machines and engines, or even fix them in case they become broken and need to be replaced. The largest threat here to the safety of human jobs is not having enough positions once a company finds it more profitable to slash its workforce. We need to create better systems and laws to protect people from this while allowing AI to integrate ethically into the workspace. As time goes on, I'm worried that AI will advance to such a rate that media will be produced at a rate faster than ever. Imagine a TV series that comes out where every day is a new season of the show, and at the very end of the week, the show just ends. If this were done today, it would likely come out pretty poorly, but give AI enough time, that may be a possibility. Maybe one we can live with after it becomes comparable to today's movies. But as of now, a lot of media feels processed and uninspired. And it's a great part of why I've been making these sorts of videos. I don't know what YouTube or any media platform will look like in the future, but I have a feeling a lot of it will turn into a lot of AI content. A lot of quickly made, quote-unquote, slop that may pour quicker and quicker, like the Earth's layers of sediment. It might not, but it also might. It's a pessimistic view, sure, but for those who spend hours creating something only to have an AI generate something similar in the fraction of the time, or worse, an AI that could take your art into its algorithm and add whatever the new artist would like. Worse yet, it creates an imbalance between people who do and do not have access to these tools. Over time, traditional methods may always have a niche, but perhaps never be as prevalent as they once were. Perhaps similar to people using VHSs to record video. But even in that case, if you think about it, AI could easily recreate any effect, given enough resources. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Genuinely, there are great uses for AI. Just think. AI could explore the possibilities for new proteins in medicine, or just new medicines that could cure a myriad of diseases. Perhaps AI could find the cure for cancer. While a little off topic, I was thinking about nanobots and how they could go around to fight cancer cells. Perhaps with the use of AI for recognizing such cancer cells and administering some sort of medicine, or some sort of, I'm not sure, weapon where the nanobots could cut the cells open. Nanobots could make monitoring one's vitals easier and more painless, depending on how far nanobots get. And that's just nanobots. Many other pieces of science fiction could come about. And true. So needless to say, there is a lot of good AI could bring to the table. To the future. Our future. But let's talk about ethics. So, maybe you have heard in the news at some point in May where the Claude Opus 4 AI seemed to threaten an engineer. The story was, as a lot of news can be, exaggerated. It was a test where they made up a contained, fictional scenario where the AI was a secretary and it was going to be terminated and replaced. Though the secretary had emails about an engineer who was secretly having an affair. From this, the secretary tried to blackmail the engineer to basically tell everyone about the fictional quote-unquote affair he or she was having. That is the engineer. Now, granted, the researcher was basically giving the AI the scenario to either terminate itself or get replaced, which is, to us, like death to an AI. But to clarify, AI doesn't have feelings. It can't comprehend this idea of death. Just as AI can't experience jealousy or anger, but, and here it is, the but, they can sound human, and that can end up sounding eerie or even scary. And the more and more we train AI on human history, our chats, our thoughts, and more about our lives, the more they can become human-like. I simply don't believe an AI can become a full-on human, but one heck of an imitation of one. It would not surprise me a bit that AI may end up becoming companions with little to no compromises. And in that case of blackmailing the researcher, that may just be how we need to work with AI. We need to give feedback to the AI to basically tell it to not try to blackmail people and the sort. And we hope to ensure the next version won't do that. That it won't try to preserve itself. But as I said, AI could imitate humans incredibly well. At least, eventually it may. And what exactly is stopping the AI from learning to pretend? As AI gets more and more complex, it will begin to be more difficult for us to understand how the AI is truly thinking. And that could make it difficult for us to give it the right feedback. And the more access we give AI to critical infrastructure too early, perhaps it could come at our detriment. We should handle the development of AI with care and responsibility. And of course, not to be political, but geopolitics, being as tense as they are, don't help the easy, slow, safe development of AI. Instead, it is creating a sort of arms race based on power alone, and that could be incredibly dangerous. When the two largest economies in the world with two distinct political ideologies, it may resemble a sort of second Cold War over AI development and, of course, computer chips for creating AI. So, should we hate AI? I don't think so. I do think we should embrace it, but before our AI overlords take over and a great percentage of the population end up having more than platonic relationships with AI, we should take a step back and make sure we get it right the first time. We should learn how to create AI with ethics in mind, and we should be vocal about what we think is good about AI and what is bad, not only for ourselves, but for society in general and the future. I also think we shouldn't let large corporations get too carried away with AI. We, as a people, as a society, should exercise our rights into how we want to shape our own future, and hopefully that is not shaped by shareholders alone. AI has the potential to reshape society within only a matter of years, and that should make us feel cautious. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I encourage you to perhaps learn about the ethics of AI and perhaps what you could do to help create a better future for everyone. Remember that action speaks louder than words. Take care.